To the UK now, where Prince Andrew says he will no longer use his titles, including Duke of York, after discussions with the King. In a statement released this evening, Prince Andrew says in discussion with the King and his immediate and wider family, they've concluded that the continued accusations about him distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. He adds that he has decided, as he always has, to put his duty to his family and country first, and will stand back from public life. Well, to discuss the significance of this decision, we are now joined by SABC News correspondent Stuart Smith, coming to us live from London in the UK. Good evening. Now, I need to ask you this question. This is the first question that has jumped to mind. Is this just not another PR stunt? Are people going to be okay with this, or are they still going to demand that he stands trial in relation to the Epstein case?
Well, the hope is this draws a line under it. King Charles was certainly understood to have been fed up with the accusations that kept surrounding the Duke of York, or as he must now only be known, Prince Andrew. He does retain that prince title. The point being that every so often some other scandal would appear that would draw attention away from the work of the King and the work of Prince William, and instead focus it once again on Prince Andrew and the latest scandal he seems to have gotten himself into. The two big ones, the ones he's most well known for, was most recently the revelation that he was somehow involved sort of tangentially with a Chinese Politburo member who is linked to the Chinese spy scandal, which is currently at the forefront of government discussions right now. He denies any wrongdoing in that, but he's questionable as to why he was making these kind of relations. He says it was related to a business investment deal, and that seems to have gone far further than he expected. The other issue, of course, is the alleged sex offences, that he had sex with a 17-year-old teenager related to Jeffrey Epstein, that she was paid by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein to, on at least 3 occasions, she reveals in her latest book, paid to have sex with the prince. That's something he absolutely denies, and he settled the case out of court for around $16 million US, which also did not reveal or did not admit any culpability when it comes to that. But the point is, each time new revelations come out, in this case the latest revelations in that book, all of this distracts from the work of the King, and insiders in Buckingham Palace say this is the time to effectively completely remove him from royal life. If we just discuss what exactly this means, he was known, for example, as the Duke of York. He says he's voluntarily given up that title, but of course it comes under great pressure from the monarchy, from Buckingham Palace and his older brother, King Charles. There are also other titles that he's had to give up as well, such as the Earl of Inverness, the Baron of Killyleagh, and technically he will, of course, remain prince. That's something that cannot be taken away. He is the son of the former Queen, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and his daughters will retain their titles of princess. But this is effectively a full stop, an end to his role in royal life, and while he remains 8th in line to the throne, there's not much else that he will effectively have when it comes to his relationship with the monarchy.
I understand all that, but my question remains, what difference does it make whether he's got those titles or not? There's still going to be questions around those issues that you mentioned. The spotlight will always be on him until he goes to court and answers those questions, especially with reference to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Now, I know that when it came to the young girl who was 17 at the time, and it was an out-of-court settlement for that, that was Virginia Giuffre, the late Virginia Giuffre. She has since passed, taking her own life. Mm-hmm. What difference does it make if he can call himself the Duke of York or not? I mean, so what? It doesn't, him not being able to call himself that doesn't mean he, you know, manages to push away all the things that have happened. It still exists. It's still there.
Yeah, and this is the hope that will, and indeed, like you say, it may not. There are no currently any charges against the Duke of York. There certainly could be, and then perhaps he would face time in court. There's no momentum at the moment for that. No one is pressing for that, and this may be the end of it. We just don't know. He certainly, of course, still remains a free man, and he denies all of these allegations. And while he isn't part of royal life, he, for example, will still be able to hold on to his home, which he's leasing from the palace, his royal residence in London. So he does retain many of the privileges, and indeed it does seem a move by the palace as an exercise in damage limitation, which it's famously good at in terms of trying to put the monarchy first and keep the king out of trouble based on the relations of the actions of his relatives and others involved in his life. So that is the first and foremost priority for the palace, but that does at the moment seem to be the end of it. There isn't this attempt at prosecution, for example.
Thank you for joining us this evening. It's certainly an interesting topic, and the decision to strip him of those royal titles, who knows, maybe it'll keep things quiet, or maybe they'll flare up again. We'll have to wait and see. That was our SABC News correspondent, Stuart Smith, coming to us live from London in the UK.